And I guess I'd say let's get into it. So, 97 Cobra is in here by herself. I'm redoing a few things in this garage space to make more room for. Tires are flat, typical things. Of course, I've just got it on wheels to roll back and forth on. Original Cobra R's and some deep dishes in the back. There's a few other things that we'll be going over, so let's get into it. So, we've been over the car a whole lot. You've got the engine. The engine is in there. I'm going to have to move the engine back out a little bit, and there's going to be a few things that I move around for the placement. So all these AC lines and the fuel lines, I'm going to prepare to run those fuel lines through at least one fuel line, since we'll start out, as far as I feel, returnless. And I've got a few options out for that. I've been clearing out a few more things in the car itself, and I've got it on the side. I've got some things, just you know how it is with the garage. You've got some things stored there. So, of course, in the car, uh, her interior has been kept safe relatively. Obviously, some things are torn apart. Where there was that fire that one time in here from the welding that was done, that was partly repaired. But I'm going to redo that whole carpet and gut the entire interior of the car now that I've got all the garage space. We're going to take a few other things out of there as well. Of course, repainting of the steering wheel, get some of those little basic things out. Of course, you got car covers, seat covers. Have to fix the emergency brake, and the transmission shift linkage and all that stuff will be changed completely. So the car is not in horrible shape, but she did sit out in the weather for a while, and it's going to need a repaint. It's going to need a touch up on the roof and everywhere. Really, the rest of the car, the parts that never did get painted. It's what, since 1997? That's a long time ago. So the car is getting up in age, and she needs her paint going through again, but it's going to stay in the garage and safe now. There is no fuel tank in there. The fuel tank will be in there, but I've got my space in this garage to do what I've got to do. I'm not going to move the car away from where it's at. I'm just going to get the fuel lines run where they need to be so that those can be installed and we can be over with it. And that's really the primary set of updates I've got. That's the next thing that I'll be doing. Of course, the Marauder takes this space when I please. Right now, I'm not going to be keeping it in here, so I could just get things shifted back and forth, because it's really a one car space garage when you want to actually work on something and get in depth with it. I can do the Marauder work in here, as you've seen, but it gets a little bit tight and it doesn't really accommodate well. And this car is pushed over from the wall, so it's not nearly as close as it could be, because I do have to work on it and it's the priority. So, with that said, there's a lot of different changes I've got going on right now, and my scheduling has been off the wall. But hey, I just wanted to provide some updates for at least what we got going on with the car. Of course, I got millions of boxes over here. Most of these are parts that need to go on the car, believe it or not. A lot of this stuff I have, the fuel line, I think is what I'm going to run, and then go over the interior and just gut it and stuff quickly. Take out the excess nonsense, clean up the wiring, and finish the rest of the wire harnesses throughout the car. And then once I get the 10R80 in, we can get that mounted in here. And I may not be able to do that in this garage. So what I'll likely end up doing is, there's a very close enthusiast Mustang shop. They've got a lift. Unless I get a shop space and it has a lift, I can do all that work over there myself, and we can get the custom cross member in for the 10R80 and that together, and the long tube headers to go on the engine, and that would be a wrap. So there's really not much more that you got to do to get the engine in. It's very simple. It's just having the time and the logistical space to do it. So I just wanted to provide that update. Of course, I've got other things with the Marauder coming up. You know, we got to get her on the dyno tune, and I'm doing a few things more with the programming for the fuel pumps and the system, and I'm doing development for the returnless fuel system on this car, and what ECM and everything we're going to go with to run the engine. With that said, guys, don't forget to smash that bell. Don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe, get in there and just keep coming. I'll just be doing these updates and how I put the car together and how I do the other cars.